Uh-oh. Oh, my God. Oh. Oh. Oh, my God. I got a rant coming on. Here it comes. Here it comes. This question is a great question from Genghis Koala, who's been hanging out all day. It says, any mental tricks you do to get yourself from a consuming mindset to a producing mindset? Creating often feels a lot like a lot of activation energy is needed, and self-criticism can also be crippling. Yeah, so if I, to maybe reword what you're saying, I almost imagine you're asking something like, hey, I kind of want to work on a prototype of a game in Unity, or after their recent changes to their terms of use, Unreal. We're going to prototype in Unreal, or Godot, or Godot. So, how do I make sure that I don't just sit at my PC and want to open up a stream and want to open up a game and want to like do a bunch of other stuff? How do I get myself into like the mode where I'm actually making shit and not distracting myself endlessly? Is what I'm understanding. Okay, so the question is, I'm going to reframe your question. Sean, how do I just sit down and start making something? Because it can feel so unbelievably stupidly easy to open up a stream, put on Netflix, play a game like Palworld that's satisfying enough and actually quite rewarding to play. Oh, why don't I just keep doing that? Man, it's been 2 weeks and I haven't gotten to write my novel or work on my game or something like that, right? So I want to begin by observing that the most... Okay, I'm going to do a little thought experiment with you. What's the number one quality or the number one characteristic or property of a person? There's a cave here. I don't even notice that. Oh my god. What's the number one quality a person needs to have for you and they to get together as a couple? The answer is, you live near each other. That's it. That's the number one. It's not about personality or looks or any of that stuff. It's if you live next to each other and you go, oh, well, obviously, that makes sense. Okay, what's the number one quality that a published author needs to have? It's that they write words a lot. They write a lot of words. I know of people that are still working on their first novel. Still working it and reworking it and reworking it and reworking it. I know people that have written 15 books. 10 of them are garbage. 3 of them are published, and the other 2 they're trying to get published. I want you to be as not abstract as humanly possible. What do you need to do in order to make your creative work? And Genghis Koala, since I'm playing a game, will say that you're working on a game or writing a book, because those are 2 easy ones to reference. Let's be really unbelievably, stupidly not abstract at all. Just literally, what do you need to do? You need to be sitting at your computer writing code. Or you need to be sitting at your computer typing sentences. Or you need to be setting aside time to think about what the designs are and writing those designs down. You literally need to do shit. And I mean this in the strongest sense of the word. You have to do things. Now, that doesn't mean you need to get motivation and that the motivation can be fuel for you to do things. That doesn't mean you need to have anything happy occurring in your brain or body when you're doing things. You could be, if you're an author, sitting down and writing and going, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this. And as long as you're typing stuff, you're going to be more successful than someone that doesn't really type very much, but always has a great time doing it. So I want to be abundantly focused on what the goal is in the first place of sitting down and doing things. Your goal is not to be motivated, or to have happiness occur, or to have joy, or to have confidence, or to avoid self-criticism. Your goal is, how do you make yourself do stuff? Now, I'm not going to be a proponent of you must suffer. I'm not going to be saying it. But I just really want to be clear and observe that the doing of things is what we care about. As an example, there have been, I remember for the current project that has turned into the project that my game studio is focused on, I mean, I could point to periods of 6 months where I just found the entire process miserable. I mean, yeah, but it doesn't need to be pleasurable. It needs to occur. And I just made it occur. So this is not like anything necessarily helpful in terms of here's the action you should take to get into that mindset. But I want to be really clear what our goal output is, which is doing stuff. So, for instance, for me, summoning frustrated energy is really powerful for me. That's something I do. So if I wanted to like really get up and go to the gym and I didn't want to, I'd go, ugh, this is so stupid, I don't want to do this. Ugh. I guess I have to do this to, get in the shape I want to get. Ugh. And then that gives me enough energy to get out of bed. And I don't really think it quite as consciously as that, but this is an example of a type of energy I give myself to get started. Okay. So, Genghis Koala, you talked a little bit about wanting to stop consuming and start working. First, I would encourage you to do the following. Create a space in your house where nothing happens. For me, it's going into the bathroom and just sitting on the toilet with the, toilet lid shut. I just sit there. I turn off the lights. I don't bring my phone. I don't bring anything. I literally just sit there and I just sit alone. So for instance, let's say that I were writing a book and I have just finished my stream and I need to go get into writing mode. I will go into the bathroom that's right there. I will turn off the lights. I will sit on the toilet and I will just experience sitting alone. And you will be really surprised how loud your own brain is and how many thoughts and distractions and all this stuff. Getting in the zone to work is about learning how to turn off and quiet those voices and pay attention to the certain things you do want to pay attention to. It's about figuring out how to embrace solitude and avoid distracting yourself. It's not to avoid external distractions, it's to avoid distracting yourself. So jokingly in the past, I've called this embracing the void. You need to find void time. You need to find some void time where there's nothing going on, man. Embrace the void. So if you're someone that is very consumer habitized, like I sit at my computer, I control T, boom, I'm opening up a tab to see what's going on Twitch or on Twitter or something like that. Going and embracing the void is a really great way to just go, okay, all right, cool, that's not there, all right, nice. Huh. Second thing I would do is I would try to create an ideal distraction-free workplace. Windows has multiple desktops. So you can have your work desktop and your play desktop. I don't do that, but I do deliberately close all these applications and I turn my phone off. Like literally, I would encourage you just as practice, because again, we're not getting to the doing yet, we're getting to the space in order to do. Turn off your phone. Unplug your internet. Right? Like literally, you're allowed to do insane things like this. When I say insane, that's maybe the wrong word. You're allowed to do extreme things like this. Like, turn off all the lights and electronics in your house. Turn off all the clocks in your house. If you have clocks that have blinking lights, those distract me, so I just unplug them. Turned off my phone, unplug my internet. Okay, it's time to work. I also, if I want to work, I don't use two monitors. I use one monitor if I want to work, so I'm only looking at one thing. Think of, for you, what your ideal workspace is. And again, if you're writing a book, some of the things I said might help. If you are trying to work on a game, some of the things that I'm saying might help. You have this idealized workspace where you're going to be able to sit down and work. So again, we've gone from I'm in consumer mode, and then I need to go find the void. I need to go sit alone, letting my brain get quiet and just slowly turning it off. Then I go to my workplace where there's no distractions at all. And here's the thing that I want you to think about when you're doing your work. How do you make yourself keep working? You don't need to feel good to do it. You don't need to feel happy. You don't need to feel inspired. The first thing I want you to do is just to figure out how to do stuff. Do anything. I want to make a game. I have no idea what game to make. Cool. Copy another game. Just literally start making stuff. And then you can do something way down the line. Like after you've recreated another game, go, how do I want to change this thing? So that way it's not a copy, it's my own thing, right? Great. Just get in the habit of doing things first. Get in the habit of doing things. I want you to make wrong things. I want you to make terrible things. I want you to make things that you think are bad. Just do shit. You don't, like, I cannot stress enough, the goal output of everything I'm saying is how do you just do things? Not do good things, not do bad things, not do things with a predictable output, not do things that you're comfortable with, not to do things you're uncomfortable with, just to do stuff, just do things. There are artists that do one kind of art and they do variations on it for 40 years and that is all that they do. Do things. Now, one of the things that can be really helpful is to have different persons in your brain and you slip into that different person mode. So for instance, there can be a decision maker brain that decides what we're going to do this week. Then we can have a doer brain that does stuff during the week. And then we can have an evaluator brain that evaluates at the end of the week. Don't ever let these times overlap, period, until you are pretty much done. Or excuse me, until you are pretty deep in your creative process and you feel more comfortable. So for instance, if I were working on a book, I might say, okay, on Sunday, I am going to try to, let me do it as a Monday to Friday, so that way we don't assume 7-day work weeks because you need a life. Hey, on Monday, all I do on Monday is try to decide what I'm going to be writing this week. Okay, you know what? I'm going to probably do my third chapter, and I really think there needs to be an action sequence to kind of set up the big inciting incident of my book. Okay, and I think this should happen, and this should happen, and this should happen. Tuesday comes along. Write all day Tuesday, write all day Wednesday, write all day Thursday. Don't go, this action sequence sucks. Don't do that. That happens on Friday. You're just writing an action sequence. And what you are allowed to do is you are allowed to do 2 action sequences. You are allowed to write Chapter 3 version 1 on Tuesday, Chapter 3 version 2 on Wednesday, and Chapter 3 version 3 on Thursday. You're allowed to do you're allowed to make more stuff, but you are not allowed to stop making and do any consideration. And then on Friday, you're allowed to look and go, this sucked, this is okay. I like this, I don't like this, I don't like this. I'm done, have the weekend, Monday. Take all the learning from last week, what do I want to do? Splitting these things up very deliberately is incredibly helpful to give yourself permission to do things. Okay? I cannot stress enough, we're not talking about anything except that one fucking thing I emphasized at the start, which is do stuff, 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 do stuff. Okay? Do things. Why do we have a day set aside for planning and making decisions? Because you got to do stuff. And it's very easy to go, I think an action sequence would be cool, but oh no. Do I have the skill to make an action sequence? Ooh, I don't know. It's very easy to second guess yourself. It's very easy to be in the middle of writing and go, this doesn't seem very good. How do I make it good? Right? It's very easy to be looking back at your work and going, I'm really disappointed in this. I need to change what my workflow is. No, you don't need to do any of that shit. You're just evaluating that. The more that you can, because okay, tell me you haven't done this. Tell me you haven't been at an event and spilled something and been like, whoa, sorry, didn't mean to spill that. And then you don't fucking clean it up. Because someone else is going to do that. Someone else goes, sir, we got it. Don't worry about it. Oh, thank you. Oh, God. Whew. Well, and you don't feel that bad. You don't feel bad. Do that, but for yourself. do that, but for yourself, giving yourself permission to just, I'm going to make these decisions. This sounds fun as hell. I cannot overly stress enough how important it is to just get in the habit of doing stuff. Just do things. As to use myself as an example, this week and next week, I'm trying to figure out how to fill time because the Magic the Gathering set is coming up after that, so I'm going to be playing some Magic the Gathering, so that week's clear. I just decided I'm going to stream Palworld all week. Done. Is that good? Is that bad? I don't know. I just decided it. On Friday, I'll think about it. Literally on Friday morning, I have a meeting with Eric where I'm just going to, like, chow with him and think about it. He and I and Ed are going to think of some plans, right? Done. There you go. And then we'll probably make some decisions coming up on the next week. Make those decisions. Sometimes I have made a plan of what to do over the next month of streaming, and then I just don't worry about it. And a lot of my streams are pretty terrible. I have been boring on air for like at least 10 of the 30 hours I stream a week, most weeks. And now I stream more like 20 hours a week. And yeah, half of those are garbage hours. Whatever, it's fine. Just keep making stuff. And I mean, I've done some good stuff. I've done some really good stuff. I've done some pretty garbage stuff. I've done some pretty not good content. Pretty frequently, but, you know, I don't care. Just gonna keep doing stuff. And I think that it's very easy to evaluate things as quality and not quality. Because there's so many things out there that are high quality. And you go, how do I do that? How do I do the high quality thing? And then you start to make something and it's bad quality and you go, oh, how do I stop doing what I'm doing and start doing that high quality stuff? And the answer is, that person that made the high quality thing, they made 30 pieces of hot garbage and they're showing you the two good things. That's it. That's all they're doing. So hopefully that was a reasonably helpful rant about getting in the mind space of just doing stuff. Just doing.